And there's
No.
the computer lady. Hooray!
Huzzah.
It's time to join the Unlucky Bunch again. Hooray!
That's us.
So, during our last session, our party made a connection with one of the faces in the crowd at the Selection Day event. After a little bit of discussion and a hasty withdrawal from the school district, let's call it that, our adventurers found themselves conversing with Morgan, the wizard who was so prominently noted in the research papers they found all of those miles and miles ago on the other side of the continent. Morgan then brought the party along to what presumably was his residence. They sat, had more discussion time, and talked over many of the very different events, which led Morgan to take you somewhere else. And that somewhere else seems to be the tower of the Spire Society, which isn't supposed to exist. And yet, there you were, having a lengthy discussion and talking about a number of different things. And that brings us up to speed. As you are all there and having various little discussions and chatting about different things, Morgan says, I do think that given the circumstances of all the things that went on and all of the things you have done, I believe I can provide each of you with something of a reward if you're interested.
For what in return?
No, just because you acted in the defense of the people of Lithia. And I think that's important.
This is for the good stuff we've already done, Leah. Don't worry. I'm sure more will come over time.
If you're willing.
See, right there, that kind of makes me a little nervous. The fact that he's, if you're willing. If you're willing to be rewarded.
If I was willing. I had a group of people very unhappy with me for agreeing.
We have to leave the comfort of this area. We have to go to my one storage room.
Okay.
So, if you will, follow me. And as he's going, he does make a couple of gestures to some other folks, and what's her name, Terrence?
Shadowwing?
The girl.
Shadowwing?
There you go, Shadowwing. He actually stops for a moment. Shadow has a little discussion. Shadowwing is going to be ushered off with this other person. He lets them get a good head start and turns back around and says, I think she has great potential. That illusion, she did just fine.
Oh, absolutely.
I think there's real talent there. The rest of them, we'll see if anything shakes out. This way. So Shadowwing goes off, presumably to be newly apprenticed, and Morgan takes you into, there's a couple of twisty turny little down the steps around the corner. It's a little
Wizardy
bit
things.
What's that?
Wizardy things.
Well, just down the steps around the corner kind of a thing. You're like, wait a minute, this seems like it's not still within the bounds of where we were. Okay. He actually produces a little key, opens up the door, and there's a room. It's bigger than a closet. It's probably walk-in closet size, and it's just boxes and bags and tubes and wooden staves and just stuff that's just piled up in here like storage room.
Mm.
And he starts sort of rooting around in there, and
one day, Thea, you too will have something like this.
I aspire to it.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
That
And
isn't.
over here, we have the 85 religious items that I'm carrying, all off of the recently deceased.
They don't necessarily have to be deceased.
They were generally.
Generally, yes.
It was easier for you to acquire them after
Yes,
post existing.
It's easier for you to pilfer after you perforate. So
Yes.
I didn't kill most of them. Yeah, most of them were already previously deceased.
Oh, okay.
So we have
I think
added
I have to
grave
remember that
robbing.
one.
Most
could add-
probably didn't need that much assistance in dying.
And I am
But,
not
you know.
grave robbing. I am acquiring so I can admire and research out further.
What, do you
Just at
work
a
for the
different
British
Research
Museum?
you, right?
I'm a researcher, I'll have you know.
What have you researched?
Clearly fucking clerical artifacts.
I've researched things of value.
history of religion.
Clearly how to create, contracts with eldritch beings.
That's a new field of study for.
Yes.
As I
Branching
said, I'm
out.
slow learning.
Eldritch
You don't know it
entanglement.
all here.
You've got time, you're an elf.
Yeah, she took that as an elective.
Nice.
I am
Well, I
weak.
mean, I did leave the elves quite early.
It's okay. Eventually, he does rummage. He turns around. Yadu, I believe. That was the name, correct?
It is.
A fierce warrior deserves a fiery grip, and he hands you a pair of gauntlets. These gauntlets.
Why does this world think that I'm a pugilist? But okay, cool.
I've
Well-
seen how you handle doors with your face. It doesn't matter.
Kind of true.
These gauntlets are gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Dark black doesn't really do it justice. Leather with tooled orange flame and little orange gem chips on each of the knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, please don't use them in here. But when you need them, flare is the word you should speak. That will produce fire. In game
Interesting.
terms, so that you know,
Yep.
3 times a day, 15-foot cone of flame, 4d4 plus 4.
Okay.
That is what we like to call making an entrance.
He basically lays it all out for how put them on,
Yeah.
strap them in, use the command word, the whole thing. Gives you the whole breakdown on it. And then he turns, Mr. Dundon, the true defender of the people, while all the others went after the cultists, you helped the guards. And I think for a protector, definitely something to protect yourself. And he pulls out a tunic that, again, this is gorgeous. It is, you can't really even describe the material. It looks like liquid flame. It is straight up like Hunger Games style, like flashy, and there's a little red gem right here. You can wear it under your armor. We'll give you an extra +1.
All right.
It automatically shaves 5 points off of any fire damage you might take. And once per day, as a bonus action, you can create a fire shield.
Oh, nice.
This is a full 5-round resistance to cold and 2d8 fire damage to anybody in melee distance.
2d8?
Yep. And our staff wielder amongst us, Azinthian, he actually produces a crystal.
I'd like to identify that if I can identify that crystal just off visuals.
You've never seen anything like it before.
Excellent. All new strange things for us.
It is light orange, and it has a little twist of red through the middle of it in this crystal. You should be able to add this to your staff. It is a dual thing. Any attacks that you make with your staff, be they physical or a spell attack, provided you hit, now also have the power of the Phoenix. The next round after you hit, they take an additional 5 points of fire damage.
How much?
5 points of fire damage the round after you hit. The power of the Phoenix. They start on fire after that.
Makes sense. I like that. Because the last crystal I got was like quartz, like a clear crystal, if I remember correctly. And this one was what color again?
Orange, with a fiery red twist up the middle of it. I'm wondering if Thea is bored yet.
Who, me? I'm just,
She's busy cataloging this place.
yes.
If you are looking around, there is one thing sitting around that catches your eye. But
Ooh.
he turns around just as you're thinking about that. And you, dear lady, I sense constant trouble. You're going to need this. And it is a token about this big. It's a ladder that just twists in the middle. That should, if it is in your possession, and you still have the wherewithal to use it, should help you get away. So in game terms, he'll explain to you the phrase to get it to go. Command word, there you go. Told you it was gonna be a long night. So you can use that 2 times a day to cast jump as the wizard spell, 2 times a day to cast knock, and 1 time a day to create a 5-foot sphere of breathable atmosphere around you that will keep water away.
Oh, good. Now I know how we're
Oh.
getting through the water next.
Handy. You know,
We're
water's
just
been a
gonna
real
Captain
friend
Jack.
to
We're
me.
just gonna Captain Jack this bullshit, aren't we?
Foreshadowing.
So, through all of that, down to my favorite, the wizards. The wizards always have something good. You, dear, need two things. One, he scrounges around in another bucket of things and he pulls out he looking at all of your companions and then looking at you, says you clearly need these. It is a slender set of goggles that have a light green crystal lens. Those should help you when none of the rest of them want to light a torch. That should give you 60-foot dark vision.
You've got
of night.
you've got fantasy nods indeed.
But just being able to see, personally, I don't think that's quite enough if you're going to make an entrance. And he flourishes a dark wood rod about this big, say wand size, with a little red crystal that looks in the shape of a ball at the end.
Oh no.
There are limitations to this. However, should you need a blast of fire, this should do the trick. That is a wand of fireballs.
Yeah, I had a suspicion that was gonna happen.
And
Like
remember,
a moth.
I didn't ask how big the room was. I said I cast fireball.
Like a moth to the flame.
Yep.
So, game terms, it's got 7 charges for a day.
Mm-mm.
1 charge, 1 fireball. Additional charge, upcast at a level.
Okay.
Additional charge, upcast at another level. Up to 7 charges.
Ooh.
However, if you use all 7 charges, you have to roll a saving throw for your wand. And there is a chance that it all goes wrong. However,
Yeah, as there is a chance for dropping a nuke going wrong.
if you use 6 and leave 1, the next morning D6 plus 1 charges will return.
Huh.
To a max of 7.
To a max of 7.
So if I left it at 7 charges, it doesn't become 14. This
Correct.
isn't the first United Savings Bank of fireballs.
Correct.
Well,
So I think that
Why-
Thea
why do
had
I-
her eyes on.
Yeah, why do I sense every time we're getting a long rest, you're just casting one because you can?
I'm not that wasteful.
it's not wasteful if
It's
it
not
costs
wasteful.
nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, you haven't watched enough Konosuba.
No, I have not watched any.
There you go. When you watch Konosuba, think of this wand.
Fireworks.
What's really funny to me is now this is the second method I had to cast fireball. That's not myself because I don't have to spell myself. But I had that necklace of fireballs too.
Yeah.
All of us are like, yeah, these are really useful. And oh, what? Meanwhile, Elsbeth is like, I have become death, destroyer of worlds. Just,
Oppen Elsbeth.
oh god,
Elsbethheimer.
Yeah.
Openosa indeed.
Yeah, all of our rewards are fire based.
Well, I mean,
Morgan
we are
Flame
getting
Drake.
them from a guy named Morgan Flame Drake. To be
Yeah.
fair,
Yeah, no, I know.
It
Even
is-
by the name, honestly.
yeah, it is very much on brand.
Trinket that caught Thea's eye. Can she start, like, while he moved on to Elsbeth, start
Mm,
measling over
Don't touch that.
to peruse?
So it wasn't a trinket. It's of all the things in here, it is absolutely not ornate. It's a lead tube
Tubes of lead.
Even better. It doesn't fit in.
about
mm.
this big.
Ooh.
Oh no, he has a prop.
Nah, it's just a ruler that I had handy.
Oh, it's hard to tell.
Or a foot-long lead pipe.
With a cap.
It's C4.
Pipe bomb. That would be in character, but that is less dangerous than what's here.
I have found the source of the ticking.
Oh.
But you see, you really all you've done is trap me in a room full of magical items, and I have no idea what any of them do.
Darn. Let's
Yeah.
go play.
No, Thea, especially
dear.
not you.
What could go wrong?
Everything.
So
Thea would like to peruse.
Morgan sort of tucks himself back in, and without turning around, he just says, "Dear, you don't want that. But if you feel the need, I can give it to your group."
Please don't feed her kleptomania.
No, because it has been stolen and it needs to be returned.
Oh, okay, hold on. This is not some reverse charity thing. What is it?
Well, that's where there is some debate.
Oh, shit. What kind of debate?
It's in the tube because many say it is cursed.
Okay.
I love cursed items. Do tell.
No, Thea.
It is a shard.
Uh-huh.
It is. Where did it go? Losing my notes. Losing my mind. Where did it go? Where did it go? Ah, the ebony shard. The ebony shard has a trail of monstrous rumors following it along. And I just haven't had the opportunity to track down the core of the matter, if you will. I do have someone that needs to go to, and they are here in Lithia. I just have not been able to make that happen. If you would be willing to figure out getting this back where it belongs, I would take it as a great personal favor and could, in fact, see my way to some level of reward. But we do have other things to discuss. It's up to you.
Could you give us just a minute before we go accepting your hospitality and potential rewards?
He actually invites you to leave the storage area. You walk back up into it. He has another, there's yet another room, sort of private lounge, hang out, comfy furniture. He's like, I'm gonna go see about drinks. I'll be right back.
Excellent. Thank you. So as soon as he leaves, all right, so where are we on taking the potentially super cursed and super stupid decision to go take that tube anywhere?
Not the worst thing we would have done.
Depends on the price.
I hate the fact that both of those answers are entirely reasonable in this circumstance.
Generosity unrequested deserves something.
It does.
True, and I'd like to know more about what that ebony shard is
I'd
before we
almost
add.
rather not, because that's going to get her curiosity up.
I don't think it really bears.
Oh, it's already peaked.
Exactly
You
my
don't. It's
point,
not
which is
getting
why,
up.
which is why if we carry it, I think I should.
I agree with that entirely, and put it somewhere
He
she
is gonna
can't get her
take out the
hands.
soul dagger and say, like, you're carrying this.
Okay, amendment. I'll carry it. because I can at least put it elsewhere she can't get to.
True.
But I
Wanting
say,
your teammates is not a wise decision, especially
that's
since we
okay.
all just got fire aspect.
Yeah, all I have to do is dodge and let her take the brunt of it. You want your back covered? Keep going.
all right, but in all seriousness, so I would like to know more about what that thing is before we add another layer of some kind of extra planar fuckery coming to try and kill us in our sleep or while we're awake.
Or in your dreams.
Fuck. Thea, you're not allowed to touch it.
I was just filling out all the options for you. I mean, come on, let's not miss an
that's
aspect.
very
Just
considerate.
says it doesn't mean it's going to happen.
We're kind of in the middle of trying to save the world.
Yeah, but why not have a milk run while we're at it?
Well, we're kind of at a holding point with where do we go next to stop the golden crescent circle of death, doom, and despair.
We have a couple options for that.
Yeah, we do.
Most of which I do not feel comfortable discussing in the premise of this dude's magical tower when I know there are spells all about listening into places that you're not. So
sure.
I just feel like realize that he could probably just watch you from anywhere in the world.
Yes, I am sure of that. That doesn't bother me as much as talking about it inside his house.
It's not just his house. It's
again.
Again, that's not the point.
Yeah, I'd rather not talk about all those options here.
Yes. I think that a side quest of this may give us some time to consider our options. And if it truly is being a courier, because we know that's going to happen, but if it's just delivering this to someone and being on our way,
I don't think necessarily, from my understanding, it's not necessarily just delivering it. It's delivering to someone who might help give us answers on where it's supposed to go.
We can ask for that clarification when he gets back.
Because it's take materials to an expert who can then direct us in a direction to place it so that it can be put back where it belongs, possibly correcting an issue.
And then we have to deal with anyone else who might want to get their hands on it.
Yeah, but that's probably going to happen anyway.
I mean, yeah, it's inevitable.
It needs to be discussed to see if it's even worth our time.
Did you see that dude's
worth his time?
Did you see that dude's junk drawer?
That's my point.
I'm sure he has something to make it worth our time. The dude
For which part of the trip?
Yes.
He didn't make it clear if it had to be returned before we got the reward or if it was the courier. That requires 2 rewards.
I appreciate your shrewdness. However, I don't think that he doesn't seem like he is a man without means. I mean, after all,
there was the last guy who gave us a taxed house.
He was an asshole. And now we could probably go back and set his house on fire.
Well, we did kind of.
Well, no,
we will be doing that.
Oh,
we destroyed his village and killed half the population.
To be fair, half the population were cultists because he couldn't do his job.
And they were already deformed by the time we got to them. So they weren't even real people at that point.
Oh my god, you just pulled the Deadpool defense.
Right?
He was up there when I got here.
He was like that.
We are definitely totally the good guys.
Manipulate them.
So what I'm hearing is we're going to take the pipe to the person. We have to figure out where it's going to go from there. We may or may not get that done before we have to go finish what we have to do to save the world from finishing.
Yes.
Is that the basis of it?
And
then the question also becomes: do we really want to stop the world from vanishing? If it's,
kind
of. They say it is.
Yeah, I think I'd like to. I happen to like living here. This is where my stuff is.
I have been creating myself quite a collection. It would be a waste for it to go away.
Also, I haven't gotten my wife back yet, so that's kind of more important than everything else as far as I'm concerned, but I know
All right,
that's
I
a
can give
me
you
thing.
that. I understand.
So, all
Okay,
right.
so we'll take the lead pipe to the
I'm so glad that
Potentially, we do not have a price yet.
we're
I'm
gonna
You're
do
not
it
a
anyway.
charity, folks.
Thea.
Well, even if we were a charity, they still need funded.
Thea, it's gonna happen one way or the other. You know it. It's just how it is. Whether we do it now or we do it in a few days when it comes up again as, oh, you know what we need to get? We need to get some weird black obsidian shard and figure out where it goes in order to do whatever we need to do next.
Can I just say how
Fates,
much I
the
appreciate
fates love us.
Can I just say how much I appreciate we just actively lean into the fucking meta? This is the best form of just going into that. I love this.
One way or the other, we're going to do it. We may as well do it with the understanding that there's going to be something on the other end for our time.
And it's likely something that we would have had to take considerable expense or risk to acquire ourselves through less than legal means.
And also,
It's
if you
only
wouldn't have
illegal
been,
if you did get caught.
and really, it wouldn't have come up if you wouldn't have spent so much time staring at it.
Well, if we didn't spend so much time just going around in boxes full of interesting items.
The man's playing Wizard of Oz with us. Let him have his day.
Well,
Your entire
can't fault me
career
for
is
being-
hold on. Your entire career is based off of spending time snooping through other people's boxes of items. What do you mean?
So why are you surprised?
It's not that I'm surprised. I'm surprised that you're well, it's not that I'm surprised. I'm just saying it's not the basis for an argument.
I love how
Okay,
Elspeth
what's
and,
the
and
best
Yadu
one?
are just kind of like, yep, this is fun. Wake me up when it's
Wash
time
my
to go
hands
do
of the
something.
discussion. I wonder how long Morgan's been standing here listening to this discussion.
I know, right?
Listen,
He's like, that
bringing
damn one is
spirits.
definite troll. Like,
Yeah, he had you pegged the moment you walked in. Are you kidding me? You went and touched his magic robes. The dude has the dude knows.
Yes.
You went and tried to touch the first thing the DM actively went, are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, all right. So we're gonna go and move and get some. We're gonna ask more questions before we inevitably take this tube.
Yes.
On
The
its
first drinks.
And I'm
Yes.
interested academically anyway.
Spirits for the spirited conversation.
Of
Yeah.
course.
So, in due course, Morgan comes back. He does have another individual along with him, pushing a little push cart. He comes in and he says, please believe me. I understand there was no way I was carrying all of this. There are all sorts of drinks on this cart.
Mhm.
He's like, let's relax. I think Selection Day has been a glorious success. He grabs a flask and goes and gets a chair. Please, help yourselves.
I'll start with this bottle.
I'm with Dundon on this one. Excellent.
The stuff that's here,
Mm-hmm.
all quality. Nothing here is cheap.
Only for good wine.
Oh, absolutely. One of them's chilled.
Ooh.
Like it's sitting in a little bowl and it's frosty.
Ooh, let's start with that one. I said, ooh, let's start with that one.
So please, and I will say, I do have a very limited knowledge about the shard. We do keep it encased in lead. It does seem to be the safest thing so far because we
Yes.
haven't had time to do any research on it. It is clearly magical.
You
It
can't
does
scry on it through there, can you?
no,
Smart.
thus keeping it capped. At least for now. It does according to some rumors, give powers. It does strengthen the individual that holds it, particularly wizards.
But at what cost? There's always a cost for something
And
like that.
therein lies the problem. We don't know the cost.
Has anyone been
Right.
able to identify or legend lore it? Get any sort of
We simply haven't done that here. But I do know an individual. He lives in the Termoto district, which all of you kind of go, wait, the what?
The Huda
He explains that the Terremoto district is back on the land side, away from Bend to the north.
Okay.
It is its own little district at the edge of Lithia. It's not one of the areas down here in amongst the commerce and all the water and such.
Yeah.
But it does have a like from the land side, it does have full like wharves, absolute direct across via boat. And he says, I do have a scholar that knows something about it, Leonardo Parco. He lives in that district. And in fact, he's staying at the Grey Hermit pub. And if you get to him, he could give you a great deal more detail about the item.
That would be helpful. Speaking of, did you have any particular compensation in mind for us doing this? Definitely not going to be a milk run task for you. Before Thea asks.
I do think money would be crass. Valuable, but crass.
The communal head nod of just like, yes, we all agree with that.
And there's Thea going, nope.
Yeah.
Always
She's
take
like,
cash. Always take
No,
cash.
I don't want cash. This
No.
I
place,
want materials.
yeah, she wants
Yeah.
something that somebody would regret losing. That's what she wants.
yes. Cash, you can always make more cash, whatever.
All right.
Well, I will give you a starting point, but I may be able to make an introduction to further the research into the weave. Alas, I have not been out and about in some time. So my limited sphere has kept me from learning a great many things. But I think when you get back, I think we can make an introduction to push all of your agendas forward.
That seems
So why haven't you done
useful.
this yet? You seem to have a lot of magical means, and you seem to care to want the world here. So why have you not cared about the weave yet?
Oh, I do. We research it quite diligently all the time. In fact, where you're going seems to be having some issues. And there are certain groups that are selling magical enhancements to various folks in that area.
Charlatans?
What's that?
Charlatans?
Unknown at this time. They do seem to have some effect.
Cultists.
Could be cultists.
Could be charlatans. Could be both.
Could be tinkerers.
However, politically,
I do have a question about the shard. How long has it been here?
fair question, and one I don't recall. Sometime. We have a number of researchers here.
A long
Reasonable.
time in human years or a long time in elven or dwarven years?
A long time in human years.
Reasonable. Oh,
So what are these rumors that come with this shard?
Well, how fanciful do you want to be?
yes.
Call me imaginative.
Every rumor has an inkling of truth in it.
Well,
Yeah, like that grain shortage.
you know, I've heard about that.
Yeah,
Awful, isn't it? Truly atrocious.
It's terrible.
yeah. It's a damn shame.
So let's see. He actually produces a little slender notebook and flips open. Let's see. Yes. It is a shard of pure abyss. And anyone who wields the shard, all of their misfortune feeds the demon that owns it. Somehow I don't think so.
How Faustian.
Hmm.
One of the other rumors was that the last person who studied it in depth died suddenly.
Well, that doesn't mean anything.
And the next person who picked it up became trapped in the shard.
Ooh.
And he sort of flips along. There was a group of bandits that tried to claim it, wiped out by a mysterious green light. Knight tried to destroy it with an axe, and she became a stone statue. The substance of these things could be anything. There could be truth, there could be not truth.
So, general moral of the story is don't touch it.
That is the recommended. However, there are parts of those rumors, myths, if you will, that say that it does grant powers.
Don't touch it. Thea, especially you, don't touch it.
I'm good.
Excellent. That's what we like to hear.
Could be an interesting mix.
No. There is
Thea's
nothing.
eyes are just gonna light up.
There is nothing in this world or the next or any of the others that was warrant that making a good. No, there is nothing about that that is a good idea.
Morgan.
That doesn't mean it wouldn't be fun.
It wouldn't be fun. It would just be suffering for everyone involved. Literally everyone involved, except maybe you, because either you would instantly die or you'd have a good time. And neither of those things are good.
As long as I'm in one piece, though, we're good.
I'm looking over in the tray there on the cart. That's Thardelian Quench, isn't it?
Is it?
I believe it is. Dundon.
Sure.
An experiment. And I go over and there's a vial, very thin, long bottle. So not your typical wine bottle, but very thin, almost like the ruler you were holding up earlier. It's like that. Milky white substance all the way down. And you notice at the bottom, it's red. 2 glasses. I put them out for us. Pour a little bit in each. There's some sort of flaming source around here. I thought so. And I take a brand. If you could, fire into each of these.
Okay.
Bloop, bloop. And the white liquid turns blood red and has a little steam coming off of it. To you.
What a delightful drink.
It's a specialty of my people. I'm surprised you have it here. Good taste.
Everybody, do me a favor. Roll a perception check.
Good. That's what I'm actually good with.
25.
Dirty 20.
21.
19.
Ooh.
Damn. 12. Oh, 12. Those are 3 slave. I'm not as bad as that.
Very busy with the performance aspect. While that's going on, the rest of you notice as soon as he gets to the part about his people, there's a glaze. Something happens. Morgan checks out. He's not there. As soon as you get past the drink, right back.
All right. So we have a red liquid that is giving off a little vapor. Down the hatch.
Nope.
So as most of us notice that, I'm going to just start asking Yadu questions about his people just to see if the effect returns.
Oh,
Nothing.
I think he was just notified of something.
He immediately turns and starts talking to Elsbeth, and your line of questioning, your thing over there is just not
Interesting.
getting through.
Interesting.
He was
Okay.
notified of something. Something caught his attention elsewhere.
So Dundon, the experience of drinking quench
Oh no.
is that all the way down, all you feel is bone-chilling cold. When it hits your belly, all you feel is fire coming straight back up. You burp, and it is the most amazing tasting liquid you've ever had. But your body's not sure what to do about the process that just took place. That is quench.
That seems just generally unpleasant. I have
Oh,
to try
it's
this
quite
now.
pleasant.
That's phenomenal.
It sounds unpleasant. I have to try it now.
Yes,
All right.
as somebody who partakes in the finer liquors, you will never get an experience like quench. We actually use it on wedding days. And I know of a war chief's daughter who, after having vanquished her 100th foe, drank one over his corpse, kissed him, and he came to life, and serves her to this day. That's the power of quench, or so they say.
I have so many questions and concerns.
Thea is like just as intrigued at this point.
Azinthian, you're the biologist. That's all. You know.
Alternatives to diamonds.
Could be folklore. I merely know it's a good drink.
Can I try this drink?
Oh, there's plenty in the bottle.
I will set 2 down. I will pour some for myself and Thea. And
Now, one thing to warn you about. The bottle of quench, you see that line where the red is down at the bottom?
Yeah.
Never let it hit exposed air. That's where the fire lives.
I'm going to put my hand on top. So what happens?
Oh, no, it won't be in your drink. It's in the bottle.
I believe that.
The red stays at the bottom, and as long as there's white above it,
Uh-huh.
the fire never comes out.
Okay.
They then
Thea's
refill
gonna
the bottle.
Thea's gonna take the 2 shots and then put it up for Morgan to light them up.
So
Yes, sir.
what happens when that happens? It's not a question of if, when.
Oh, it's an explosion. A very uncomfortable one, because you see the brewing of it involved putting the fire in there so that it would do what it does.
This is good to know. I'm going to put the cork back into the bottle, and I'm going to put that bottle into the bag of holding. Into the bag of holding.
Since we finished most of it and there's only a small amount of liquid. By the way, you could turn the bottle upside down and the white liquid stays at the top, keeping the red where it is.
It acts like a cap.
Oh, it's a cork in its head.
It's a cork in and of itself, yes. So as long as
Yeah.
the white liquid is above it, the red will not move.
Perfectly fine. putting another cork in it never hurt anybody. And that immediately goes into the bag of holding.
BSC's Azinthian doing that and just lifts up one of them and cheers.
I will take the other one. We both know this is a bad idea, right?
Bottoms up.
Exactly.
Here's the bad ideas. All right. So essentially, Morgan is not in a hurry. His whole day, his whole plan for selection day has been achieved. He is absolutely thrilled to hang out, BS, get drunk, hang out with you all.
Mm-hmm.
He will stay and chat as long as you want to stay and chat. Whenever you're ready to go, you just have to say the word.
I have one question before we leave. Do we have any do you have any easy way for us to get back in contact with you once we're no longer here? We have some sending stones, but those are a little bit more limited.
Sending stones are good.
They are good. However, we find ourselves in situations where they're good for us to have.
Well, I do have a room in the Wizard District.
Mm-hmm.
You could come there or send a runner. I these days don't generally leave Lithia for all that. Politically, things here become very challenging and very difficult and require constant attention. And one of those things that requires constant attention is maintaining the exceptionally low profile of this establishment.
Mm-hmm.
And for reference, I would appreciate if all of you kept this absolutely to yourselves.
Mum's the word.
Speaking of confidentiality, I'm going to reach into my bag and pull out the letter I took from Kulo.
Which one's that?
Oh, the letter of rejection from the Spire Society.
Your former teacher?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna just hold it out to him. Does this look familiar? Because this is kind of what got me started.
He may in fact be a little tippy. I don't know if this was one that I sent particularly, but leaving it laying about simply confirms we made the right choice.
Yeah, he was supposedly a teacher.
What a shame. Thankfully, you have surpassed that roadblock. You do seem to be quite talented, and I think in the near future you may in fact be ready to take on an apprentice.
He can carry you over all the muck and everything.
You just need the prerequisite. The prerequisite is tall, just so that they can carry you over muck.
Let's not talk about my half ogre magi.
Eventually, we'll have a gaggle of apprentices and other people tag-alongs. Hirelings, that's the term. Oh, look at that.
Staff.
Hey, we have a company.
Yeah, you do indeed.
Which I wonder how they're...
Did he ever say what the name of his shop was?
Whose shop?
Morgan's shop?
No, it's just a room. It's just a house.
Oh.
And that was the house where we first went, right?
No.
Where is, if you don't mind us asking, this house so we can...
Do I just say that room?
Okay.
Okay.
It's where you went required a boat to get away from the Wizard School District. He has a little room right there in the Wizard School District.
Oh, okay.
Like the known location for that crazy guy in the patchy cloak.
Gotcha.
Because he's
like watching all the young wizards try and show off.
Exactly.
Sorry, I just wanted to complete the notes there. Sorry for that one.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's essentially he has made a sincere effort to make sure that the vast majority of the other people in that area don't think he's particularly anything. Sort of a once was, potentially has been sort of wizard who keeps hanging around the school district.
Well, you mean old Ben?
But no one gives him any credence.
Oh, you mean like old Ben?
Yep.
Of course I know him. He's me.
Sir Alec Guinness, you're not, sir.
No, indeed, I am not.
So circling back to this reward, the reward is able to be garnered once we receive information about where this goes. It is not where it is supposed to be going that we then get this reward, correct?
You clearly need another drink. And he pours you something completely random and hands you a glass. You are not nearly relaxed enough. And he does another, shoots one down.
So I will relax when I know our rewards are in order. That is what relaxes me.
Morgan, she's like a bloodhound. When she's on something, she does not relent, especially when it comes to financial benefits.
I don't know, we have smelling salts.
I am not only about money. There's other things of value.
Yes, religious artifacts that were dubiously acquired and magic items.
Semantics here. It's not changing the questions.
I'm certain that I will come up with something worthy.
So that reward that you talked about of starting is not worthy of us coming back with the information.
Yeah.
Noted.
Cut the man a break. I am sure
you all keep cutting people breaks, and this is why we get half-ass deals where we get taxed houses.
Listen, we already paid off.
Party killer.
Just because we paid it off doesn't mean anything. We could have not had a taxed house.
While I appreciate your, dedication to growth, because I will remind you, it was your distinct lack of questioning that got us a taxed house last time. While I appreciate,
technically that house is not taxed.
Not anymore. You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome for that.
Oh, you were speaking on that one. I thought you were talking on the other one. Never
no.
mind.
Yeah, no. Jesus Christ, who wants my attention that badly?
It's
Sorry.
the voices in your head.
I had to put do not disturb on Discord for a minute. I am sure whatever Mr. Flamedrake decides will be perfectly fine compensation. We'll be fine. If we disagree, we can do this wonderful little thing called haggling. We are all perfectly capable of acting like responsible adults and haggling.
And do you remember how much you wanted to stay in this world?
Yeah.
He wants you to stay here too. Shouldn't that count for a little bit of respect?
Me staying in this world does not mean I do charity work for free.
You were charity work to me when we started, young lady.
Something.
I feel like I've paid some of that back at this point.
I do not disagree, but it started on a basis of generosity given freely. And now you can see he's in his cups. And here come to preach a man.
Don't worry, the true gift of this is alcohol and soapboxes, indeed.
And I shall come down upon thee with righteous fury.
No, Iadu, he said not in here, please.
Oh,
Right?
oh, sorry.
Thea's just gonna huff and say, fine. The subject is closed for now.
Huzzah.
I can respect that.
Can't
Yeah.
believe I'm about to say this, but please have another drink.
Let's kill.
You know what? We've spent how long have we been on the road? A while. Not
A long
important.
time.
We've spent so long just running constantly from one place to the next under constant existential threat. I'm happy to just spend a day, takes a shot, just relaxing, having a great time. Hold on a second. And just keep relaxing for a little while.
Yeah, because it's not like Crimson Crescent's doing the same, right?
If you have a way to stop them today, go right ahead. We'll be here.
I
Oh,
think.
don't give her any ideas.
What was
We're all going towards the same goal.
Yep.
And you know this. After this long a period of time, we will get compensated. We will save the world.
Or
We will
not.
get compensated on top of the compensation for saving the world. And we may even find a way to get you out of whatever the hell you've gotten yourself into with whatever the hell that thing is.
Which one of multiple things that she's gotten herself into?
Hey, I haven't had that much to drink yet.
Then keep up, as Azinthian will pour Dundon a drink.
I was going to say, the day that
Well,
moral bankruptcy
I'm gonna
comes
start
due,
on
there's
this
going to be a
bottle
lot
now.
of creditors.
Listen, one day the bill will come due and we will be compensated, but that day is not today. We will have good dental.
We'll have good dental.
Woo! Now you're asking for it.
Mm.
You want us to save the world in exchange? Your negotiating hard point is the dental plan? Really?
There are other jokes I want to make along that line, but this is being recorded.
We don't need that recorded for posterity.
No,
How
it's
did
just
I
one
wind
of
up in
those YouTube, like,
HR?
pissing people off.
Yeah.
Oh, my
So-
various gods.
After a delightful and relaxing end of the day, hanging out with Morgan, who turns out is kind of a power drinker.
I am not.
Fair enough. He invites you whenever it is that you reach the point where you're like, it's time to go. He invites you to follow him back.
Mhm.
So you go back through the portal.
Ooh. Portaling while drunk.
Yeah, it does make everyone a little tippy. You're like, ooh.
Woo!
Elspeth, make a con save.
I didn't drink that much.
We've seen how it goes when you're sober. Make a con save.
Wow.
But when you get back to his residence on the island, there is actually a boat. And he uses the boat to ferry everyone back across. It's actually tied to a rope.
I don't know what's worse, portaling or going on a boat while drunk.
You are a little tippy, but you get back to the island where the wizard schools are like, woof. Why is the ground still moving?
I should have wild shaped for this.
Oh.
It's the weirdest swimming shark.
As then, there is a way to help sober you up quickly.
No,
Shark.
I will.
Just offering a solution.
No,
I
I'm
have
just
to take a
picturing the
6
entire
stone,
group is
you
just
get a 6
giggling at
stone.
how like
Oh no, I didn't
chaotic
even
we
think of
are
the 6
trying to
stone.
give back.
There's so much less effort involved in this, but you're not going to enjoy it.
How much effort is taken in grabbing a 6-stone?
I have to make sure I
Ooh,
don't make
here,
direct
you want to
contact
find
with it.
out?
No.
I got one of those.
I know you
Here,
have.
I'll just
No,
hold this.
no.
I hadn't even considered a 6-stone as an option. No, I had much simpler, but you wouldn't enjoy it.
What was going on in that very low constitution mind of yours?
Do you really want to know?
No, I'm asking for you not to tell me. Yes,
I
tell
push
me.
him into the water.
Bloop. Now you're drunk and wet.
Oh, the shock move system probably helped.
No. Fuck you.
Drunk and wet, but marginally cleaner.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's going to take me a long time to get more of that dust on me.
One
So-
day,
As you stagger back across the wizard district, please everyone give me another perception check. -2 to everyone.
I didn't drink that much, but should I still -2?
They are very distracting.
Fair. 15.
Okay.
13.
I also have a 15.
I didn't see shit. Nat 1.
You were in the water.
It's in the water.
So what you seem to realize as you're about halfway back across, headed back towards your place, is that there aren't a whole lot of people out. Like, this was attack ground 0. You don't see people really around here, and you're being a crowd of drunks going right through the middle of that.
Don't worry, officer, we're fine.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if they've put a martial law under effect temporarily.
It wouldn't surprise us. But don't worry, we'll just have to be stealthy.
As he sloshes on one foot.
Don't worry, guys.
The guards love me.
Don't worry, I've got this. I'll go blend in with my natural environment, and I'll fall into like a pile of trash somewhere.
Thea's just gonna be giggling at
It
him.
is to leave you. Yeah.
Oh, but no, hold on. I gotta go think about my repertoire of. I lost the word animals. There we go.
All right, so it is a little bit early,
Hmm.
but I think we're at a reasonable spot. You all stumble back to your place to sleep it off. You have a lead tube and a new mission, or side quest, if you will. And we can pick up there next time.
We have 2 other side
Yes.
quests that I'd like people to remember about.
Okay?
You still can go talk to Mouse.
We have some questions to ask Mouse about
Right.
the buyer.
And we now have
I
a
don't
coin
even
for
think we should be giving him it. Giving
I'm
him
not
the
claiming we're
codex.
giving him anything. I said we need to go talk to him.
Oh. Oh, okay.
And second off, we have a coin that gets us in the vault.
Because I'm still
Yes,
carrying
we
around
do.
our investment.
Exactly. So
And-
I would think that next time let's get those details out of the way, and then we can go to Research Boy and head
Yeah,
off to the other district.
I agree with
Well, where
with
Mouse
John.
is that to the north? Like, is it one like kind of on the way for
No,
it or
because
no?
no, because we dealt with Mouse here on the islands,
Oh, that's right.
not
That's right.
back by
Thank you.
Bend. So
Yeah,
that's why I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
last
yeah,
thing
you're
would be
right.
to get back by Bend.
yeah,
But
Mouse.
Yep,
do everything
nope,
where
correct,
we
I'm with
are
you.
first.
Which one of these things that adding to the list of magical items we should be keeping an eye out for is something that we can use to communicate with people more effectively.
Oh, and Eric, do you want to write up on Quench?
Yes, that would be delightful.
I'll do it right up.
Thank you.
Now, was that
You're
just
gonna
called
love what the
the
ingredients
bottle
are.
quench?
What?
Was that just called the bottle quench? Just for my note's sake.
Thardelian quench.
Fardelian, thank you.
Thar, yeah. Yeah, like Thardel, which is where I'm from. So it's Thardelian quench is what it's known as.
Thardelian yum yums.
Gotcha.
Yes. It's a York peppermint patty combined with a fireball. But yeah, I'll do it right up for you.
Awesome. All right, and I'm going to do this.